welcome to Been There Done That. This channel is all about employment tribunal and the things you might need to know so that you can represent yourself. So this video is to cover a few of those little things that people might not know about that might help you in your case. We're going to look at things like striking out and preparation time orders and cost orders and appeals and reconsiderations and some of those fun little legal things that might just come up. So let's get into it. First thing, strikeouts. You can strike out, or they can strike out a whole case, a part of a case. You can make a request for them to be struck out, and they can make a request for you to be struck out. So let me give you an example of when that might happen. The respondent might ask for your case to be struck out on the basis that you haven't been there long enough to bring such a claim. And that might be accepted. So say you've been working somewhere for 3 months, and then you make a claim for unfair dismissal, having been dismissed, or constructive dismissal, having walked out, been really unhappy. They could ask for your claim to be struck out on the basis that you haven't been there for 2 years. And the likelihood is it probably will be struck out at that point, and the whole case is over. Or you might make a claim for discrimination and unfair dismissal, and they could ask for the unfair dismissal bit to be struck out. But obviously the discrimination one, there's no length of service requirement to say that you were discriminated against. But your discrimination might not be linked to your dismissal, which means it wouldn't be an automatically unfair dismissal. So they could ask for the unfair dismissal bit to be struck out, and that would be absolutely fine. One word that you might hear if you do look into strikeouts is draconian. They like to use this a lot. Lawyers like to use it, judges like to use it. They say that's a really draconian step and we don't want to do it. Draconian is just fancy for old-fashioned, and what they're basically saying is, yeah, back in the day we might have decided to do that, but that rule, it's been there for years, but we don't use it very often, and we'd rather actually hear the evidence. So only make a request for a strikeout if there's a matter of principle or law that they fundamentally haven't met in order to go into those proceedings. There's no point trying to do a strikeout on the basis that you just think they won't win, because that's why the trial exists. Preparation time orders. This is one little known Employment Tribunal Rules, which is that if you are unrepresented, which you are, and you have had to spend an unacceptable amount of time preparing your case because of something like, let's say they suddenly, a week before, decided to add 5 more witnesses, and they threw 5 more witness statements at you, and all of those were 10 pages long. Suddenly you've got a lot more work than is fair to accept for you. If they broke a rule in doing that, say they did it beyond a deadline or something like that, then you could legitimately put in a preparation time order for your time preparing, because what they did was breaking a rule and then creating work for you to do. If you do decide to do a preparation time order, you need to Google what the current rate of pay is per hour. It used to be something like £33 per hour, but that changes on a year-by-year basis, so there's no point me putting that in this video. So do a little Goog and see how much it is per hour, and then be realistic about the time that it's going to cost you, or the time it has cost you, and then put that preparation time order in, and the judge will hear it and make a decision. Cost order is more often used by the respondent, and that is where the situation is reversed. You've done something which has broken a rule and created work for them, and it's their lawyer's fee for the extra work that you created for them. You know, because like lawyers are expensive and their time is like so important. So preparation time order is essentially your time that they've cost you by doing something wrong. Cost order is the same, but it is the lawyer's time. Another thing people probably will know about is appeals. So after the judgment has been made, the decision's been given, the other side has a small window of time where they can ask for an appeal. However, you can't just ask for an appeal if you disagree. If you want to appeal the decision of an employment tribunal, you've got to point to a specific part of the law that they have made an incorrect judgment based on. So it can't just be, I disagree with you, or you didn't hear that evidence properly, or you missed a bit there. It's got to be, but you're talking about unfair dismissal, and the claim was about automatic unfair dismissal, or something where there's been a misapplication of the law. That's the only way that you can ask for an appeal. You can, however, ask for a reconsideration if you can't ask for an appeal, and so can the other side. And a reconsideration is basically just you imploring them to rethink, and you just say, I know you've made this decision, but I'd like you to reconsider, and I'd like you to reconsider because of these things. It's helpful if those things are introductions of either new facts or facts that were glossed over or not covered in as much detail as you would have hoped in the hearing. And then they will decide whether or not they're reconsidering, and if they decide to reconsider, they may call everybody back for another hearing. So we talked about strikeouts, we talked about preparation time orders, cost orders, appeals, and reconsiderations. Boy, isn't this stuff fun. I am trying to answer everyone's emails, but there are so many of you. But I'm really happy to know that these videos are helping you. So if you're finding these videos helpful, please like and subscribe and come back. I will keep making them. And their time is like so important.